Hey guys, we're going to talk a little bit about Sofi, and this trade brought to you by an obvious level from yesterday's action. I think sometimes you come into the day and you're anticipating something, and whether it happens or not, you just want to be prepared. And with Sofi, it just comes down to quickly showing you on a 15-minute, always go to that higher time frame. It's going to stand out. You got a nice it's not 750, but it's close enough to 750. Great move the last couple of days into $10. And you get a pretty clear double top here at that 10 even. It stands out like a sore thumb. You know, and besides being a psychological level, a lot of times those bigger round numbers like the 10, the 50, those 100s, they can be absolute gold. Now the key thing about this trade is this morning, you weren't really anywhere close to $10. We're sitting at about $9.50, $9.60 after the open and trending to the downside. So, you know, I knew the level was in there. I wanted to short in front of that level. We sort of talked about that double top possibly coming into play the day before, but you had to be very, very patient. Now, I didn't have long ideas for this particular stock. So once you've sat out a lot of this move, there's some tempting things that'll happen to you. When you're thinking a fade trade in general, it can be easy when you see that pop down to want this trade. Now, if there was significance to like a 975 level and I had a reason to trade off it, sure, that's a trade I usually put on. But there's just, trap, trap, trap. It traps every single curl on the way up. And even when it gets to 10, the initial short I had gets immediately stopped out. And if you're watching the live show as we're trading this, I mentioned how there's no size on the 10 offer. A lot of times you'll see a few 100,000 shares, maybe even 1 million on a Sofi. There was nothing there. So I didn't add to it around that 95 because there wasn't size, didn't make any sense. We let it break the level, take the stop out, and at that point, if you've been watching us a lot, one of the nicer momentum trades can be the false breakout. And if you're looking at a key level, sometimes it needs to relieve that pressure, stop out a bunch of shorts, mine included, and get some people taking a 10 long trade on that break. But if it immediately fails the breakout, and you can always tell if you have a higher time frame chart up on the 1 minute, okay, you get the nice spike up. On your higher time frame, some of those wicks look even more intense. And when you get that break, you're just looking to jump right back in. It settles right back down at 995 where it was before, and then you're right back into the trades you liked. It's a little bit more risk to the high of the day, but at that point, more pressure has been relieved. And that's what you need. It's less people short that are bidding on the way down. It's a few people that might have been trapped in a 10 long that now need to cover that position. And you're thinking shorter time frame, right? Like somebody who's got to swing long, maybe they're taking some profit out, but they're still solidly in the money if they've got it from a couple of days ago. And I'm talking about down here, or if they've got it from the morning. You're not necessarily worried about trapping that. You're trapping that scalp long at 10 even, where they're thinking about getting out 990. They're thinking about getting out, holding it to this 980 level. Maybe they're thinking about holding into VWAP. So once you've got that trade on, you have to consider, even if it's a reversal, this is an uptrending stock in an upward trending market. So you can want to hit a home run with it, but I'm always going to take a bunch out at 1-to-1. And when it gives you that 1-to-1, you're going to scalp a bunch out and then usually hold in for VWAP. Now, in this particular case, as it approached VWAP here and didn't fill 975, I sort of always tell myself, when you're looking to scalp that last bit out and you're sitting on the bid right below a consolidation level, if it breaks this consolidation in 975, let it test lower. There's no point being at 72 or 73 because it either breaks this and makes another move down, you're likely to just get yourself an extra 5 or 10 cents, or it holds that level and you're covering around 80. So in this particular case, I just let it break once it decides to stall in front of where I was going to be buying, and then it goes down to what? Around this 965, which was the pre-market lows. And still holding on to a piece to see if it can flush it a little bit further. But the key here was it had to be the false breakout. And then once the false break was on, you just jump back into the trade once it's back below that 10 even area. Multiple ways to trade around a very key price.